Hello, welcome to Z Explains BG. I am Z. We'll be playing a 5-point match on Backgammon Galaxy today, and I will explain my thinking a bit as we go along, and then we'll check the computer analysis afterwards and see, see where I go wrong. Try to learn something. Don't mind playing bad, but I do always want to learn something. Okay, seems like a reasonably high-rated player. This is good. A good match to my opponent. So this is the right play, obviously. It's interesting, if he splits with a 2-1 in the opening, I think the computer doesn't mind splitting with the 3 and bringing down the 5. But it's if it's right, it's very close with the obvious thing of making the 3. Yeah, I don't know. What does he do here? If he splits here, it's pretty exposed to being batted around, although I maybe don't quite have a cube yet. Okay, does something more conservative. I dance here, I'd cube him. Possibly can cube this. I mean, I got a pretty clear edge. Assume he's coming in with the 5 and splitting with the ace. He's kind of got a lot of good threats. Yeah, like I could hit twice, or I could point on him. Yeah. Then those will often lose my market. Not often, but maybe enough. All right, this is maybe a little marginal, but I sort of convince myself. Okay, dance here, it's like a big pass. So maybe that's justification enough for my cube. But still, it's a little bit questionable. Yeah, I'm gonna try to justify my cube by going after him. Yeah, it didn't work. All right, hitting's maybe a little too thin now, and then the splits seems pretty important. Well, a 6 here. I want to hit him off the ace. So this looks okay. Good builders. Maybe attack him next turn. Oh, it's pretty nice for him. Guess I want to hit home. I mean, best for the win might be not to hit, but that's a little unclear. I'm just a little worried about getting a second anchor, but it's not a big deal. Even if he gets like a 1-2 game, it's going to be pretty hard to time. 4-3 game. He's a real decent game here now. So I don't know. Maybe I should have thought a little more about not hitting. But I don't know. It seemed like it would be pretty cowardly. All right. I don't know if you want. Huh. I guess this is probably cleanest. Timing is like a little questionable for this, but it's not too bad. Can do this. Maybe it's giving him too many forward going chances. 5-4. He can leave a blot on his midpoint if he wants. Play 13 to 8, 7 to 3, and then it's sort of questionable whether I should hit that and possibly improve his timing. And meanwhile, he leaves the blot there. Yes, that's a good play, I think. He leaves the blot there. He's sort of putting pressure on my midpoint. So I don't know. Probably this. Although the block isn't worth that much. So I'm thinking possibly this is a play. But it might be hard to get off this midpoint, He has to make some concession often. I don't know. Or there's a hybrid, I guess. Some of my 6s might play badly here, though. 6-5, for instance. Huh. Let me take another look. I guess I'm going to just try to do the normal looking thing. But possibly there's something better there. Oh, this is nice. Roll big. Ah, it's a good shot. I don't want to roll big. Oh, he got, somehow he timed this thing. Do not leave a shot, dummy. Yeah, he still has a take, I think. Assuming he runs from the front. I mean, I assume that's what he's supposed to do. That sort of seems like the smaller concession to me. Obviously, best play, if his only goal is to hit me, you know, he makes the ace here. But it makes it like a little hard to contain me. So I'm a little inclined to do what he did. Oh, this is probably good. 5-2. Well, maybe he wants to stay back for my double sixes, double fours, double fives. Would have gotten a double shot on those numbers. That's maybe the only rolls that matter, though, you know. And I guess he's thinking about saving the gammon without hitting. Get out of my hair. Nice. Oh, that's tiny gammon chances. Oh, I think maybe. Oh no, his play's okay. I was thinking maybe 2-1 was slightly better for him, but actually his play gets off on double threes next turn, so I think probably it's all minor, but I was thinking what he did was I think maybe what he did was technically correct. Sometimes it can be right to play if you have like one checker coming home and you have a checker in my outfield. I think under some circumstances I think it might be right for him to play 2-1 there. But it's always very close. 5-1, he splits nicely. I point on him, and then somehow try to escape this guy. That deuces 2 somewhat. He could cube this. I mean, due to the score, he maybe should cube. Well, I don't know. I was taking, but I probably would have cubed that given the score and the fact that he sort of has this clear edge and some threats. And now I don't know whether I want to even take this or not. All right, I got to come and split though, because I'm up in the race. I'm just stagnating back there. And then he's going to cube this. Take it 0-0 or for money or something. I'm a little worried about getting gammon at this score. He's got a pretty big edge. Seems a little cowardly. Huh. I don't know, man. I will see what the computer says about that. I got set to pass, but the more I looked at it, the more it didn't look like he was winning by that much. Hopefully it's somewhat close. Getting cream now. I don't know if it's like 108 or something. It's fine. But I hope it's not like 1.2, you know. I know he's making his 3. Oh boy. Okay, good technique would be to hit me with the 6 and bring down the 4. Good. Yeah, he seems to be playing pretty well. Oh, cracking a little bit maybe. 4-4, 2-2, 6-6, 6-2. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. Oh, he cracks some more. Enter! All right, got a shot. Couldn't take advantage. All right, yeah, bad take maybe. Okay. That's Jim. All right, 4-2. So gammas do not help me at the score. I mean, they help me a tiny margin, but it's not. It's basically double match point as far as the right plays go. Kind of like I'm stacking the heavy point there. Obviously, there's a lot of options, including running all the way. Oh, I could just make the 4 sort of a big upgrade. I might run if it wasn't like a double shot out there. But even then, maybe making the 4 points a candidate. So you should make the 5 heavy and play 13-10. It looks like. You line up exactly like that. Guess I'll stay out of harm's way a little. This looks like there's some duplication here. The hit numbers here, some of them hit out here. So I don't like giving up my 10, but maybe it's the least evil. If I was duping 4s, if he had like good 4s on his side of the board, I would have played 6-5. And this seemed weird. His play seemed a little weird there. I would have split with the ace. And maybe I should have thought about 10-9 more there, but I kind of like this. Don't want to give him a chance to attack or consolidate or something. All right, so what should he do? Yeah, there's no hit play. So he could play 13-9, 13-11. Sort of seems like the safest idea, unless he plays like 3-1 or something. But 3-1 seems like too big a concession, you know? Because the checker's still alive for making the 2. So I guess here and here. Hope he's not having internet issues. I don't want to win that way. Oh, Sweden. I just played a Swedish player. I played like this guy Supernova, who's super high rated. Just before this match, he totally crushed me. Oh, this is nice. Took me a second to see it. The match against Supernova was just like I got crushed in the first game. He just went double pass, and then he closed me out super quick in the second game, and then went a gammon. So I thought like there was a chance I had like played a 0, like a 0.0 PR, because I didn't like have that many decisions. But there was like 1 or 2 decisions I messed up slightly, and it came out to be like a 2 or something. All right, so 6-4. He cannot, again, he can't hit me, so I guess it just runs all the way here. Oh, I see. He's thinking about putting guys on the 5 and the 6. Yeah, maybe that's better. I don't know, though. He's up in the race, so maybe running is more going for it. It's not too hard to play it. Like, if you get closed out right away, and like every game is not too hard to play like a 0. Definitely have like more, zeros and ones when I lose the match as opposed to winning the match. Oh yeah, I wonder if he's having internet issues. That would be a shame. So 1. Maybe I can win a backgammon here. That would be sweet. So that's sort of the play to win a backgammon. I could close out 4 guys. All right, I'm going to try for it. Ah, crap. All right, so still doing okay. How about this? All right, so it worked. Dance, okay. Still backgammon them. I think I have like 5% or something, having closed out 3 guys. I do want to play for it because they're so valuable. It's got to be super valuable at this score, so I do want to play for it a little bit. Not sure about this though. Safest would be something like this. Oh, and then there's like an intermediate play. Maybe it's not worth playing for too badly. It looks funny though. Got punished. Dance? Oh my goodness, it could happen. Double ones, rip 4. All right. Seems like it does. It seems like that is the play to win a backgammon, right? So he enters 1 here. I rip 2. He enters another one. I rip 2, and then he's usually saving. Although this I could get hit, or it could slow me down quite a bit. I'm likely to roll an ace at some point. So I'm just going to do the normal looking thing. I sort of regret it now. Yeah. All right, well, at least I won the gammon. All right, double match point. This will be interesting to see if how aggressively the computer wants to play for the backgammon there. Given that it's sort of 308 Crawford, I feel like there's a lot of unclear stuff this match. So I might not be playing that well. All right, so 5 is obviously there, and then that's okay. I might have stepped up with the 2, but his play's obviously better builders. Sweet. Can make the 11. Okay. This is no good for him, although he can hit with the 2 and then play Probably 11 to 7. That looks good. Now what is he going to do here? Oh, he can play 13 to 1, 7 to 3. That's a play. Seems to do a lot. Okay, yeah, this is okay too, I guess. And maybe I get the back game this time. Is this gonna do anything? Yeah, maybe I can contain the checker. It's not gonna like hurt my timing that much to get hit. Like it might even, no, that's not great, but it might even help, you know. If I get hit a bunch of guys, maybe I can make a third anchor. So I could play just 13 to 6 if he wanted, but okay, it goes with this. Yeah, I don't know whether to hit this or not. I guess it's okay though. Maybe I can contain the checker and he cracks weirdly. And it's not like, I mean, I'm gonna have good timing in any case, you know. It's not like my board's gonna be forced to crunch ever, because he has this ace point. He can't really build a prime against me. Hmm. It's too exposed. If he's making the 10, oh no, he makes that point, okay. I think I'm doing okay here. I mean, he's probably losing, but I'm probably not a big underdog. Oh, actually, this roll is quite bad for him. Guess I got some cracker stuff here. See how this helps. Doesn't look like he's leaving me a shot here, so I didn't mind dismantling my position a little bit. For, you know, I get good flexibility for the future. Maybe I make it a 3-point or make the 7 or something. Oh, I see he's thinking about paying now. Yeah, maybe. Now that he dismantled my position, maybe he can play like, you know, 10 to 5, 10 to 6. Still pretty happy to hit if I can, though. Maybe not with 5-2, 4-3, maybe. I guess I gotta hit with those. I gotta hit with everything if he does that. Because the game is just bad if I don't. You know, he's cleared everything he needs to clear. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. If he plays safely here, it is pretty tough for him to come home safely next turn. And my board might be better, and he might leave extra shots. So I don't know. Okay, he leaves it. Okay, I think I do have to hit. Because like this, he's only got like these 2 points to clear now, you know? So it's not a good game. So obviously this could blow up in my face. But if I get hit out here, maybe I can make a second anchor again. This is bad. Shoot. Sort of dupe some of his 3s. And roll a 3. Nice. Back in it. This is pretty, this whole game was pretty questionable. Two. Oops. Oh, I thought this was a shot for a sec. Okay. Oh, ones and twos. Oh, I got him. Cover 1-6 a little bit. I don't know. One. I do want to leave that there. It's pretty important to pick up the second checker, you know, because I'm kind of a big underdog if I close them out. So I think I got to do stuff like this. He's still forced to hit me on all sixes except for 6-1. I know, leave the blot here. He's like a little trapped when he hits me though, but he got good sixes also. So I guess it's this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 9 crossovers. I got 11 crossovers. Seems like I'm still not doing well. So I'm still going to take a chance here. Ooh, maybe I'm doing okay now. All right, I can keep a 4-point board by doing this. Maybe that's sort of key. And then again, I don't mind getting hit too much on his 4s because I might hit him. Not anymore. Hope I didn't miss anything there. Oh, did I get it? No, I thought I got a shot for a second. He gets to make the ace. All right, that's a good game. Probably a lot of stuff to look at here. Oh, he's going to shut my door. I'll be right back. I played a lot better than I thought I did. Maybe my take is okay in that 0-2 game. I expected to see like a 4 or 5 maybe. Kind of hard to guess, you know. Sometimes. Anyways, let's look at the analysis. I mean, I'm sure there are some blunders here because it's a long match, and I didn't play pretty far from perfectly, obviously. All right, so 5-1. All right, so 5-3. Okay, yeah, so splitting would be a pretty big error here. But somehow, yeah, somehow the computer likes it after the opponent splits with a 2-1. Maybe it's like a good place to split to. Like, how close is it? Yeah, see, it's just like borderline for some reason. I was thinking this may be a good place to split to because the opponent is poised to make the 5-point, and then if he makes the 5, that's like sort of the best anchor you have available, maybe aside from the 18. But still, I don't know if I've really seen people do this. Let's see, it loses fewer gammon, so you have to do this at gammon save. Like it's sort of mandatory. If say he needs 2 points to win the match, you need 1 point to win the match, and it's the Crawford game. So you have to split, which I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone do. You know, yeah, something to watch out for. Or you could, if you're playing for money or something, you can, and you're playing someone you don't know, you can like do this after he split with the 2-1, shock him. Maybe he thinks you're an idiot, which is probably a good thing if you're playing for money. You used to be able to do that with a 6-4. Like the old school players, like always thought that like making the 2 points awful with an opening 6-4. Like this is back in the 90s or whatever. And so you would do that. You would do that playing for money, and hope that the guy underestimates you. But people after computers came out and started being commonly used, it it doesn't. People stopped sort of falling for that as much. Might still work against certain old school type players though. All right, 5-3 obviously hits. 4-2 obviously. Okay, so my double. Okay, my double's close. Okay, this is about where I was during the match. It's pretty close, but it's a good double. I mean, the way I think about this is the edge is pretty clear. I mean, it's not a huge edge by any means, but I have good builders in the zone. I've escaped a guy, and I've got some decent threats, right? So I mean, the edge is super clear, and I can certainly lose my market. In other words, next roll he might have a pretty solid pass if I get like a good sequence, but not like a ridiculously good sequence. Like any like point dance sequence is huge, or I could roll some like awesome double fours or whatever. 3-1, I point on him. 5-4. Okay, so a little questionable to go after him here. It's pretty close, but yeah, I'm blitzing on the low points. Computer thinks that just playing solidly, not doing this not going into this questionable blitz play is decent when I only have this like one man to escape. So it thinks, okay, the running plan is fine, and maybe you blitz later, if he doesn't anchor. 6-2, 6-1. Okay, get the picture that blitzing probably isn't the right idea here because I don't love giving up my 8-point. And I don't have a ton of guys in the zone ready to attack now. 5-4, and again I avoid the trap of 10-1, which is probably pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like now you're hitting off the ace point. That's not great when the 2 and the 4 points are open. 5-2. Okay, what's going on here? It doesn't want to make the 10. Yeah, I don't get that. Why wouldn't you make the 10 here? Huh, that's weird. Okay, no, it's borderline. Like to me, this is sort of obvious because I'm making a new asset, and that's probably where I want the back checker, right, ready to jump. Although it is a little exposed to being batted around, but I mean, I don't know. You might rather be on the 20 than the 22, and I want my 10 locked up, and I don't. Computer think this is pretty close. Maybe the computer's thinking it's better back on the 22 because it doesn't get hit there. And, you got great flexibility here, but I'd rather have the 10-point, I think. Oh, it's 3 builders. That's this what it's thinking. It's 4 builders for the 7 and 3 builders for the 4. And those are sort of the important points to build, right? So my play doesn't do that well there. It's 3 builders. It's 3 builders for the 7 and kind of only 2 for the 4 because I'm not too keen on giving up my 8-point to make the 4. So that's what the computer's thinking, is focused on making the better points. So, and it's willing to forego making the 10 to do it. I get it now. Okay, and then I have okay, the computer doesn't want to hit with this. I would have found this, I would have actually not hit at like double match point, but hitting does win a lot more gammons. The problem with hitting is it doesn't win as much because the other player gets to make a second anchor a lot. And this checker on the ace is pretty badly placed for him if he's playing some sort of deep anchor game. So I'm sort of recirculating it for him. And the computer thinks it's not quite worth the extra gammons to hit, which I can buy. He gets a real game out of this. 6-4, 6-4, 2-2. Yeah, maybe it was sort of fumbling around with this 2-2. Maybe I could have found this play. Computer wants to clear the mid now. My play makes the 7-point, which is maybe an upgrade, but it's really not that clear because this might be difficult to clear later. It might be harder than the 9. Like I might have to leave a double shot there. So I can certainly see the computer's choice here of making the 11 heavy. 5-4, 4-1. Oh, and then the 3-3's coming up. All right, yeah, all sorts of stuff. Okay, yeah, so the computer likes my play and it likes this play of getting rid of the point, getting rid of the 8 point right away. I guess really there's not that many bad sixes here. It might be only 6-5 that's bad. I mean, six so other sixes. I like 6-4. I have 6-4, 6-2. It looks like maybe I have to clear the 7, but that's not that bad. Yeah, and then 6-5 is a blot number. What else was I thinking about? I was thinking a little bit about this play, which the computer hates. So this play, but I'm left with the problem of clearing the midpoint, and it looks like White's gonna like probably leave the blot there and put extra pressure on the midpoint. So I think maybe that's why the computer doesn't like this. Like I don't think the block is worth that much anymore. I rolled a great 5-4, bad 6-6, bad 5-1, and then I get, he runs correctly, I thought. Yeah. I see some players do plays like 6-1, 5-1 here. But what they're focused on is, okay, this is the best play to hit at some point. Right, but it's too big a concession. Like one way, this is rough. This is a very rough way to think about it. But let's say you make the right play and you hit after it, you're like 100% to win. If you make this play and hit after it, you're only 50% to win ish, right? So even if you hit like half as much after 20-12, it's still reasonable. It's still a reasonable play. But like I said, that's an oversimplification. But it in some sense, it's like those are the factors, right? Okay, I get a nice 4-3, and then I do avoid leaving a shot for a while. I think maybe I never leave a shot here. I get lucky. Yeah, I like this hit play because he might roll a 6 and get out of my hair, or roll a 4, and I don't have too many problems. Even 2-6 he has to run here, right? Yeah. All right, so I just bring home a single game. Oh, hey, Whiz-a-Whiz. So you're talking about the XG settings? So it's all like default, I believe. I don't think I really mucked with it at all. So we can take a look. Although I'm not sure you'll actually see a pop-up if I do this. Yeah. So I just clicked on Analyze, the Analyze tab, and Analyze Level, and it just says Z World Class. And then my opponent is world class analysis also. So, which I think is just the defaults. I don't really think I mucked with it at all. And it seems to be fine. I mean, it gives me a high enough analysis. And then, the reason why I like doing it on the XG app as opposed to Galaxy is you can ask it for higher levels of evaluation, right? You can highlight stuff and say, oh, I want the plus evaluation. And so I do that kind of stuff all the time. Anyway, so this is the 2-0 game. Oh yeah, I want to see what it thinks about my take here. 6-6. Okay, likes my play of slotting the 3. There's probably not much else. I thought maybe he can cube before the roll here. Oh, okay, no, it'd be pretty bad. Maybe it's gonna think my take is okay then. Oh, okay, good. I was like very unsure about this. I thought I might be making a blunder by taking this, just due to the score, because I'm really averse to losing 4 when I'm winning the match by a decent margin. But I guess I'm just not losing by that much, So I eventually did find the take. Took me a bit though. Anyways, this looks a little stronger than this to me, but maybe it'll roll out to be a little stronger. I don't know. Anyways, glad I found the take. But then he just kind of blows me away, I think. And then brings home the game. Looked like he played well. He had some trouble. He started cracking. But yeah, I get one shot and miss him and then just lose a gammon. What did he do here? 6-3-2 off. Oh, okay, yeah, this is sort of a clear error by him. Right, the gammon, if he doesn't get hit, The gammon is completely locked up, pretty much. So he shouldn't take any risk here to bear off quicker. This is a little surprising error. He might have just overlooked the play. I do this, and I notice other players do this sometimes. Sometimes the plays people overlook is the plays that use both dice to move one checker. It's almost like they move this checker with a 3, and then they look for a 2, but they don't think about moving the same checker too. I've done that, and I've seen other players do that quite a bit. So I don't know how common it is, but I think there's sort of a tendency, I think, in the human mind to do that a little bit. So I don't know, something to watch out for. Okay, so anyways, this is a 2-4 Crawford game. Oh, right. So I could have played more aggressively for the backgammon in this game. I have a feeling maybe the computer isn't going to like some of my bear-off plays. Okay, so this 3-3 looks nice. I played decently with this 3-3. I mean, I didn't really have a great handle on this, but I thought I had 6 guys on the midpoint. So there's probably a big premium on stacking that and making the 10, right? So that looked like 2 of them to me. And then making the 5 versus making the 3, I thought, well, I don't really want to give up my 8 point, and I got 5 guys on the 6, so making the 3 is okay. So the computer does like this. How bad is running? Like, well, I did consider like 24 to 15, 13 to 10, but I didn't think it was worth foregoing making 2 good points to do it. So how bad is this? It's this guy. It's a blunder, not a ridiculous blunder. 0.1 or a little worse. Yeah, okay, I can buy it. 6-2. Oh, running is close here. Interesting. So yeah, so if you were just coming out into a single shot here as opposed to a double shot, it would be right to run and forego making the 4 point. I think part of what's going on here is, though the 4 point is like a great point, you're giving up your 10 point to do it, and the distribution's all screwed up. Right? I'm using the last spare on my 6. I'm leaving a shot in the outfield. So it's not a great point making play. But it's still a pretty big upgrade to the 10 point, and you don't want to come out into a double shot, so the computer thinks it's like barely right. I'm surprised it's that close. You know, I expected it to be more like 0.05 or something. 3-2. Okay, do not want to step up because he's really willing to attack me. He loves to attack me there. 4-1. Okay, usually I don't. Usually I like to slot something as opposed to giving up an outfield point here, because it's a bunch of shots anyways out here. And, you know, I don't want to give up my asset. Why I didn't like this is because, like, his 4s hit here, and, like, most of his 4s don't do anything on the other side of the board. Whereas if I do this play, you know, 6-2, 6-3, 5-4, they all hit on both sides of the board, so there's pretty good duplication here. So it's like there's fewer good numbers for him because all these numbers are duplicated. So I think that's sort of key. Like if he had like good 4s on the other side of the board, I think it would be right to do this. Keep the asset in the outfield. 1-1, I dance. 2-1, I go after him correctly. 10-9 is a little tempting, but I didn't want to give him a chance to consolidate or attack. And obviously hitting has great upside when it works, which it does. I put the position together. 2-2. Okay. To be honest, I didn't see I could make a 6 prime here. Obviously that wins the most. I mean, there's other factors, right? Like I do want to win a backgammon here. And so, I mean, backgammons are super valuable at this score where I'm 3 away and he's 1 away, and it's the Crawford game. So I kind of went for it with this play, which apparently is a little worse than just this 6 prime making play, which is obviously, you know, obviously that's going to win the most. Sort of squelches all resistance, even when he anchors, because his time is going to be really bad. Well, at least I didn't make too big of a blunder, but I'm glad. I'm glad it's not a huge blunder, but you should see the plays that make a 6 prime. 5-4. Okay, 6-5. Okay, go after him twice. Seems pretty solid. 4-3. Bunch of close stuff here. I didn't love leave. I mean, I thought about bar 18, but I didn't love leaving the triple shot out here. So I find something else. Yeah, I don't know. This is a little hard for me to see. 6-5. Okay, again, I did see making the 7 this time. But I thought, oh, okay, I want to escape the guy and, have great builders for the 4 so I can attack him. Let's see. Once again, oh, no, actually, best for the backgammon would be this for some reason. Yeah. I mean, this is nice and solid. It should win the most. Although, actually, the computer doesn't mind this for the win either. Huh. Yeah, all sorts of stuff here. Yeah, I don't know. I have a little trouble seeing what's going on here. I mean, obviously, my play is 4 pretty painful shots, 1-6, 4-6. And then I don't have great structure. Whereas here, if I get hit on the 4 point, I have great structure, especially if he enters on the ace. So the computer's just sort of locking up the nice structure where I'm kind of doing something a little loosey-goosey. 5-1. Okay, go after him again. Now this play would, if gammon's counted, you definitely play 10. You definitely play 10-4 here. But since gammons don't really help at the score, 1-way, 3-way Crawford, the computer doesn't mind just sort of playing safe, making a safer play. 6-1. Okay, then I do sort of continue the blitz and then get the closeout. Okay, and then yeah. The computer does want to play a little bit more aggressively for the backgammon here. And actually my play is my play is maybe just bad. Okay, so the best play leaves 2 immediate blot numbers, 6-6, 5-5. My play leaves 0 immediate blot numbers. But the problem is I think what the computer's telling us is that this play actually isn't safer than leaving 2 blot numbers long term. Right? Because if I roll like 6-1 next roll, I'm left with a pretty shoddy long term position. And then there's other bad stuff. There's other stuff that's not great, like 5-1, 4-1. So it's just weird. I mean, it's weird to have the checker on the ace, and it's weird to have the checkers on the other 2 checkers on the same point because it's inflexible. So the computer leaves 2 blot numbers right away for sort of long-term flexible. And so the computer is saying this play actually wins the most. It wins more than my play. And in addition, it wins more backgammons. So I kind of wish I thought in those terms over the board, but I can kind of see it now. Yeah, in fact, I did roll 6-1. The computer actually wants to bear off 2 checkers, leave a ton of blot numbers next roll. But if it gets hit next roll after this play, white will often have 2 checkers up on the roof still, so maybe black can enter right away and come around and still win. The benefit is it wins more backgammons than my play. And then this position isn't really that safe either. Like it's only 2 blot numbers. Once again, it's only 6-6, 5-5. But down the line, it can be bad. Like having 1 checker on the 5 and then no spares on the lower points is kind of a bad long-term structure. Like look how 6-5 plays, for instance. Leaves a ton of blot numbers on the next roll. So I didn't really consider this over the board. 6-1. Okay, at least that's clear. Okay, yeah, thanks, Wiz. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting, and yeah, keep on watching. Glad you get something out of these. Anyways, 5-4, 2-1. Oh, and then the 1-1's coming up, I think. Okay, yeah, the computer. Okay, this is a real blunder, or close to a blunder. So let's see. Yeah, ripping 4 wins 10% more backgammons, and only loses 6% more. So at the score, I guess that's a pretty good trade-off. Because if I win a single game here, if I win a gammon here, I'm about 50-50 in the match. If I win a backgammon, I'm 100% in the match. So the backgammon gets me an extra 50% basically. Whereas losing out on the gammon isn't a big deal, and losing cost me sort of 50% also. So it's sort of a good ratio, and it's still a little hard to lose after this play. So I can sort of see it. I thought about this, but I couldn't quite get there because I thought, oh, okay, maybe I get slowed down a little bit, but apparently it just wins enough. It just wins enough extra backgammons to account for it. And then I guess that's all she wrote for that game. Okay, so this is a double match point game. 4-1. Yeah, I like this play. Slotting the 5. If he hits me, maybe I get a second anchor. And there's a ton of 4 duplication, as we saw in the next roll. Like, he's just make the 5 point, apparently, as opposed to hitting with the 4 over here. 3-3, establish an anchor, and then I just kind of play aggressively, trying to contain him. 4-3. Yeah, a bunch of close stuff. I'm most likely playing a back game here. Oh, all right. The computer just wants to play this 3-4 game and not go into this adventure where I hit early at a time when it's very difficult to contain the guy. I don't fully get this, because to me it looks like I have some chance to contain the checker after hitting. And if I can't contain the checker, I'm still going to be left with a good back game. And sometimes I get hit again and make like a third anchor or something, you know? So it looks like it's worth it to me. I am sort of recirculating a checker that's badly placed for him. So I don't love that aspect of hitting, but still, it looks like maybe there's enough upside here. So I don't fully get this. I would make the same play again. It still looks right to me to hit, you know. So let's take a look at the computer's play. Oop. I mean, computers play like great timing for this 3-4 game. It's like a solid game. I mean, in fact, it says I'm like a pretty solid favorite here. I win 57% of the time. Whereas hitting wins slightly less, still 54% of the time. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Like I don't really see how this can hurt me that easily. I guess I was thinking my timing could end up bad in some cases. Maybe you can make a 4 prime and make me crunch or something. But it seems pretty remote, so I don't know. All right, 5-3. Oh, okay, the computer does sort of want to make a third anchor here rather than try blocking. Getting hit's obviously not a big deal. So I guess the computer's telling us that this is going to cause white just a ton of problems. And I sort of have the timing to keep these 3 points for a while, you know? Whereas maybe my play causes the white like fewer problems. I did like the fact that I was blocking stuff like 6-4, but actually that doesn't play that well. I mean, that plays pretty well for white on the other side of the board. Like 6-6, 4-4, 6-4 play okay. 6-2 even plays okay. So maybe the block just not worth that much. And the defensive structure is worth a lot more. Keeps the midpoint too, you know. So I can see that one. Alrighty, 5-1. Okay, you could split into the outfield, cause some early problems, but I lock up the nice board. 3-1. All right, 6-1. Okay, does like hitting now that I'm not hitting the guy on the 2 points. And have better structure here, right? So maybe it's more of a realistic thing to think I'm going to contain this hit checker now. So I guess that's the difference. 2-1. Okay, makes a good play with the 5-4. Leaving the shot early, because if he does this, it's a little hard to see how how he's going to come home without leaving a shot. And maybe he has to leave like extra shots at a time when my board might be better. So he makes this good play. Okay, I make a good play by hitting him, even though I have to give up my anchor. It just isn't a good game here. 21-14, because he only has these 2 points to clear now. So I got to go after him, even though I'm not quite ready to contain him yet, and I have to give up my second anchor. 2-1, yeah, there's some benefit to staying back on the 15 because it's small numbers like double ones like he rolled. I'm going to get a shot at him. What I didn't like about it was I thought a lot of the small numbers kind of hit me off the 22 point. So I thought maybe there's some value in duplicating threes. I'm leaving my board in something of disarray though. Okay, if I do hit him next turn. So the computer just wants to do this, lock up the nice board. And then, you know, maybe I get to hit this guy if he rolls small. One, one. So what happened there? Yeah, 1-1. He does get to hit. I dance, but I do get to establish a second anchor right away, which is great. This must be a bunch of close stuff. Oh yeah, the computer does want to start the 3-point, which I guess does make sense. Because you know, you got the spare on your 6 that you can use to cover the 3, and it's not doing anything on the 6 really. If this guy was in the outfield, maybe you'd concentrate more on the outside points. My play isn't bad, you know. Gets the guy going, nice and flexible. Get to build the 7 and 8 points sometimes. 5-5. Okay, keep both anchors obviously. Again, it's probably a bunch of close stuff here. Yeah. Feels like the computer maybe wants to slot both points, but it's all very close. 5-4. Ooh, wants to give up. It doesn't mind giving up the anchor, which looks wrong to me. 6-2. Okay, now I have to give up the anchor. And then eventually I get a double shot. I hit it. Yeah, I'm focused on maybe putting a checker on the 1 point to try to pick up that second checker. Like I said during the match, if I close him out, I'm a pretty big underdog. So you got to take some risk to get that second checker. Some like it's pretty significant risk to get that second checker. 6-5, 6-1. Okay, does like my rip 2 play. Obviously, you do like getting 2 guys off as opposed to 1. And yeah, there's something else going on here. Like I do this, he has great 6s, and like his 1s are okay. You do my play, a lot of his 1s aren't great for him. So he has and his 6s aren't great because I get a shot at him usually. But if he rolls like a 1-4, he's still like trapped and I can go after him. So that doesn't. Yeah, if I make the other play. Let's see, what was I looking at? If I make this, I guess that's still true, but his sixes become basically winning here. 4-3. Okay, so all very close here. I guess the race is getting quite close now, so it's getting like a little averse to leaving a shot, but it still likes getting the second. It still thinks it's worth it to get the second guy off. And then the 5-3. Okay, what does it want to do? Oh, okay, it wants to do this. Get the checker off. Just leave. It only doesn't mind leaving a 3-point board as opposed to a 4-point board because it's getting a checker off. Oh, and his 1s are some of his 1s aren't that good. Right, like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. He's still trapped back there. Maybe I didn't see that aspect of the position. So here he doesn't have any of those trap numbers. And I mean, I did this because it's a 4-point board as opposed to a 3-point board. But the computer's saying the checker off is worth it, partly because some of his entries after the right play are trapped. Yeah. Yeah, that was tough for me. That would be tough for me to see over the board, but I kind of get it. Huh. Like usually there's a temptation just to leave the strongest possible board. You obviously want the guy to dance as much as possible, but it's saying, the computer's saying just the other factors make it worth it to leave the weaker board. Okay. Okay. Huh. Yeah, backgammon is tough. There's sort of a lot to think about. And then he hits me, which would have danced after the right play. I probably would have won. And then he just brings it home nicely. All right, well, that was a good match. I'm glad I played decently. Kind of a lot of stuff, though, you know? Kind of a lot of tough concepts, that match. I made no blunders, apparently. but a lot of just sort of significant errors. Yeah, I may actually. This is a good match. Maybe I'm going to take another look at it offline because seems like there's a lot of like concepts in there that I wasn't that clear on during the match, and I maybe should reinforce that in myself. Okay, well, that was a good match. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of it. And we will see you next time.